What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fantasy Theory. I saw Godzilla X Kong, Godzilla and Kong, whatever you want to call it. I saw the movie yesterday. I wanted to give a quick review about it because I actually really liked the movie. There's a few points I want to bring up that I didn't like about it. Mostly, I did like it. I wasn't going into this movie expecting a whole bunch, but we'll get into this. Before we start, leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. Let's jump right into the video. So the plot. The plot was all right. I mean, I went into this with doing that video about how the reviews were, and they said there really is no plot. If you go into this looking for a plot, you're really not going to get a big plot. There was a bit of a plot, I will say that. It was, what I remember of the plot is, Kong and Godzilla won't cross paths because Kong will go into Hollow Earth and stay there, and Godzilla will stay above on Earth. And that's kind of how they get Godzilla and Kong together, is when Kong decides to come up to Earth when he has an infected tooth, which is pretty funny. The plot of this movie is like Kong has no friends, Kong has an infected tooth, and Godzilla is pretty much just chilling the whole time. This is definitely more of a Kong movie than a Godzilla movie. I'm more of a Kong fan, but it felt more like Kong was the main character of the movie, which is fine. I would argue that the last movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla was more of the main character than Kong. But the plot of the movie, like I said, is pretty much simple. There's some things going on down in Hollow Earth, which is an issue, and they finally go to it and realize that. King Monkey guy, I don't know what his name was, the Titan, he wants to come to Earth and I guess take over, it kind of seems like, and he's taken over the other Titan, and Kong wants a family, it seems like, and Kong is searching for a family, and he ends up crossing paths with this guy, and then it starts this whole big Titan fight. I mean, I'm there for the Titans fight. I'm there for Godzilla and Kong kicking ass. I didn't care about anything else. So, you know what? To me, I liked it for that reason. I see the argument there was no plot, but what really do you expect to me? I mean, I get there's some plots in the other movies, like the regular Godzilla or the Kong movies. I just want to see some kicking ass from between them. Give me a little plot, which I feel like they did enough of, and let's get into the movie. Like I said, I don't really care for the people. The people, I think they were in the previous Godzilla versus Kong movie. They're all right. You do need the people to make the movie, and you can't just have Kong and Godzilla fighting other Titans and all that. The movie did start off a bit slow. I was like, when are we going to get to the actual fighting, which made the ending feel a little more rushed when the actual fighting happened. But I'm okay with it because of the ending saving kind of the whole movie. Like I said, I like the movie. Once they get to Hollow Earth, they do start to pick up the pace a little bit, and then really everything starts to go into fruition that, there are some issues. The first part of it kind of felt like, here's a recap of Godzilla versus Kong, when they're like, Kong and Godzilla won't cross paths, and that's okay, and they kind of have a mutual understanding for that. But you should see Kong versus Godzilla beforehand, because the movie was great. It's, Kong and Godzilla fighting. They do explore Hollow Earth a little more, which is great to me because it's a really interesting concept, Hollow Earth. They go into the history of it and like the tribes that they meet and all the other animals in that. It's cool. I'm very interested in that. I could get a whole Kong movie, another Kong movie about Hollow Earth, and maybe even without the Titans, maybe a new Titan or something like that. I do remember the complaints that I saw over on Rotten Tomatoes that the buildings and everything made the Titans feel smaller. I didn't feel like that at all. I felt like the Titans were pretty much true to size, as I would assume. Sometimes I get that vibe with Kong that he's not as big as he should be, but I'm okay with that. I felt like it worked. Hollow Earth is so big that it makes Kong kind of look really, tiny, especially with all the other Titans and all that. But you know what? I didn't care. I liked it. I like how they fleshed out Kong and made him a lot smarter. Like he had traps going around to catch prey and all that. But you actually do kind of feel bad for Kong because he has no family, nobody he really, he's alone. So somehow I'm feeling bad for Kong, which is pretty cool. Again, they have the returning characters like the doctor, the Australian guy. Some of these guys I don't even know the name, and I didn't even want to look them up because I don't really care about the people. I care about Kong and Godzilla. They went with the plot again with what's the name, Gia, that the little girl. They needed something for somebody to speak to Kong, somebody to kind of drive the plot forward, which is cool with me. It was all right, but it's cool, I guess. I did wish we see more creatures in the Hollow Earth. I feel like it was like a lack of different creatures and such like that. Kong getting the mechanical Thanos Infinity Gauntlet, Bucky arm, it was really rushed, I gotta say. I mean, Kong gets frostbite. Within 10 minutes of the film, he's up and running again. And I understand why it felt so quickly. Like, how long can we really harp on his arm? It just felt like one of those, we got to get this movie done. So let's just get to it and get this done, which is fine with me because, an hour, 55 minutes, I think the movie was. I think that was enough time to really establish the characters, establish the fights, establish the plot, and get these fights going. Humans, like I said, least interesting part, but the fights saved this movie. The fights were so freaking good. I absolutely love these fights. If you want to just see some giant monsters destroying buildings and destroying each other and beating the heck out of each other, check this movie out because the fights saved the movie. They're great. I can't stress how much I loved these fights. Kong and Godzilla, we get a little not preview, but aftermath of them fighting from the previous movie when they took out Mechagodzilla. Now they're still beefing a little bit, but they got the mutual respect and they fight a little bit by the Egyptian towers. Then when the Mothma comes out of her hive, I guess, she convinces Godzilla in some way to come help them, and they go into Hollow Earth, and the fight starts there, and then the gravity thing, and then going back to Earth, and then taking out all these buildings and just causing chaos, which the aftermath I feel like they should explore if they do another movie, which I don't know if they will do another movie because there was no after credit scenes. I did not stick around. I looked it up and there was none. If they do another one, they should really explore the Titans kind of destroying Earth and the aftermath of that, because that's a really interesting thing. That's kind of like Jurassic World, when the dinosaurs got out, they didn't really explore humans and dinosaurs living together for that much of time. So I would love to see how humans kind of deal with the fact that their lives are almost ran by Titans fighting every so often. I gotta admit though, a lot of people die in this movie. I mean, they don't show it, but a lot of people die. I mean, no way nobody dies in this movie. The beginning of the movie, I felt like the CGI looked terrible. Maybe it did. Maybe it did. Maybe I just got used to it. I don't know. But by the end of the movie, I was able to maybe accept it more, or maybe it just got better and it did look better. But at the beginning of the movie, I looked over the person I was sitting with next and I was like, this CGI is not good. But again, towards the middle of the movie to the end, it picked up a lot better. So maybe some things were unfinished. Maybe some things were better. I don't know. But at first I was like, what the hell is this? That was a quick review about it. If you want to see this movie, I highly recommend checking it out. The fights are incredible in this. I mean, there are some funny moments. I see the complaints that Godzilla was kind of an afterthought in this and Godzilla is cliche in this, which he kind of is, but I'm okay with that. If you want to check out the reviews and see what other people thought from the audiences or the critics, you could check out my other video. It'll probably pop up here or probably pop up at the end. And yeah, let me know if you see Godzilla x Kong, what you thought of it. If you're going to see it, leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Have an incredible day.